hang on one sec. So well, I want to thank everybody for joining us for today's session entitled Unlocking Your Lab's Potential, how Eusoft.Lab LIMS SaaS in the cloud can revolutionize your workflow and drive business growth. We can go to the next slide, please. Before we get into the presentation and I turn it over to our guests for today, I do want to take a moment and tell you a little bit about Asterix. We host these sessions on a very regular basis. We bring thought leaders in from different companies around the globe to lend their insights into technology in the laboratory and what's going on in LIMS and lab informatics, et cetera, and R&D technology in general. We are a consulting company that does professional services for the life sciences sector. We were established in 1995, and we work with a great many different technologies on the market, like the one you're going to learn about today. We operate from locations in the United States and overseas. We have about 1,200 employees, 90% of which hold advanced science degrees. We are a science-based company that provides services to science-based companies. We work with startups to Fortune 1000, so there's no real size area that we focus on. We work with life science enterprises, chemical, CPG, government agencies, as well as research institutions. And then a little bit about the services. You can go to the next slide, please. A little bit about the services that we provide. It spans a very wide array of what we call a service spectrum. So we support the continuum of scientific operations and data management. This is going to be everything from helping companies in the very early stages doing things like strategic innovation and roadmaps or enterprise architecture, where we're helping companies figure out, what is the technology stack that they're going to need to grow their business or to transition, from paper-based processes to digital processes. From there, we can get into data management and government or business and governance and business analysis, understanding what are the strategies and methods that need to be put into place to manage their digital assets. Then we get into solution selection, helping companies pick the right technologies based on everything we may have learned up to that point. And then we can even help with the development, the implementation, and then the validation of those systems. Finally, we do have an entire division of Asterix which focuses on staffing. We staff both technical as well as scientific professionals. So that's a little bit about us. I'll turn it over to our guest right now so we can go to the next slide, and I'd like to introduce our speaker for today. Stefano D'Ascoli is the CEO of Eusoft, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Stefano. I'll come back on when we get to the end and help with questions. And again, right before I sign off here for now, I want to encourage everybody to ask questions as you go through today's session. Thanks, Stefano. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the presentation with the rest of the people.
Thank you, Kevin, for the introduction. Good morning to everyone. I'm Stefano D'Ascoli, CEO and owner of Eusoft. Eusoft was born in 1997 and is specialized in laboratory information management system LIMS in compliance with all the international quality standard and accreditation bodies. Eusoft was one of the worldwide first mover in SaaS LIMS in the cloud. SaaS means software as a service that I can explain in detail in the next slide. Eusoft is a company with more than 40 employees and 70% of the team has an advanced academic degree. Our headquarters is in Italy, but we have also subsidiary in UK, in London, and we have partnership in US, in France, in Qatar, and we are growing with our partnership. Our sector, the client sector, we have different typology of our customer. That is of one of the different markets. It is allowed thanks to the flexibility and customizability of the workflows through the configuration that does not require code change. So we can customize each workflow using the built-in configuration features of our LIMS. And the last but not the least, we have a strategic partnership with Microsoft. In fact, Eusoft is a certified Microsoft partner. We have a worldwide Microsoft support in promoting our solution around the world, and also the partnership with Microsoft allows us to ensure high levels of data security. We have international partnership in US, one in France, in Qatar, and we are growing with partnership because we are working to add more as in Switzerland, Poland, Ireland, and other countries. Our partners are companies specialized in field of laboratory informatics that have a high know-how on the LIMS domain. So each partner has a specialized team on LIMS Eusoft that is trained and certified so as to provide our customers with value-added services. Our partners provide implementation, configuration, as well as post-go-live support. And Eusoft provides partners with second-level support. Now, today we speak about what is cloud computing and how it works. So, as introduction, we can speak about digital transformation. Digital transformation is a process with the goal of renewing an organization through technology. So digital transformation therefore means the knowledge and adoption of new technologies such as cloud computing, big data, Internet of Things, blockchain, AI, that is artificial intelligence. And about the software, we can also have 3 different types of adoption and use for the digital transformation of your lab. One is obviously the adoption of cloud. We have 3 different ways to use a software in a lab. The first one is the oldest one, that is client server. So this means that you can use your software using the license, install and manage install the software on your infrastructure and managing your infrastructure. Then you can have the hosting way. That means you can move your software on infrastructure, a remotely infrastructure that is hosting using a cloud provider. And then the last one, but the main important one, and the modern technology is SaaS, that is software as a service. What means SaaS? SaaS is a modern technology, so that a LIMS SaaS is a cloud-based software application that allows laboratories to efficiently and securely manage and track test data. In this context, a LIMS, a Laboratory Information Management System, SaaS, software as a service, can provide a highly effective solution for managing testing laboratory data. So enables access to test data remotely, anywhere and anytime, without geographical or temporal limits. This means that data can be shared with other members of the laboratory team, customers, or other business partners securely and protected. What means? We have a balance of responsibility, because if you use this slide explains this methodology, because this slide explains the difference between a LIMS on premises, that is a client service, as I explained before, hosting and SaaS. So if you use an on-premise solution, you have to manage your infrastructure. You have to manage the operating system, the hardware, the security, and so on. And step by step, you can move on hosting and the cloud platform. But if you use a SaaS, software as a service application, as you can see in this slide, you don't need to manage anything. So as you can see, the SaaS solution is the easiest to use, because it does not require the use of our infrastructure, because the management of infrastructure, backup, security is delegated to the cloud provider. That in our case, in Eusoft case, is Microsoft. So we use the Microsoft Cloud Platform. So Microsoft provides the infrastructure and Eusoft provides the LIMS application. This is an innovation, yes, because the digital transformation of test laboratories is a fundamental step towards efficiency and effectiveness in this context. Efficiency also means having a software that allows you to use it in any technological context. You can use any operating system like Windows, Apple, and any browser like Edge, Chrome, Safari, and other one, but you can also use any devices, from the smartphone to tablet to laptop to desktop. So I just need an internet connection. And the interface automatically adapts to the device that I'm using, allowing you to have a high level of flexibility. This means using a modern software, because Eusoft.Lab LIMS is a modern software. That means that use a modern technology. What means also have a SaaS solution, SaaS LIMS, the scalability. So Eusoft.Lab LIMS is a stateless web application that lends itself well to being scaled horizontally, allowing the dynamic size of the app, in particular as regards the horizontal scaling of the app services hosting the web app. In this way, a greater number of nodes will be able, depending on the load metric using. What it means? Eusoft.Lab LIMS is able to guarantee you the same performance when the number of users connected simultaneously changes. As the number of users increases, the LIMS scales towards a more powerful architecture in a transparent way for users. The cost for the customer does not change because it will always pay the same agreed fee. So you can use the software, you can increase the number of users anytime, anywhere, and you pay always the same fee. And the other feature, the other enhancement that you can have with a SaaS cloud geo-replication, SaaS application is a cloud geo-replication. What it means? If the laboratory has more than one geographically distributed location, Eusoft LIMS is able to manage the different time zone. So the end users access the application from different geographies. During the daytime, the operations are processed in the same geography of majority of the users and geo-replicated to the other regions. The primary database is dynamically switched from one geography to the next at the end of the working hours. If an outage happens, the automatic database failover move the application to the next region ahead of schedule. So this means that you need only to use the application, and all the infrastructure that is managed by the cloud provider is managed automatically without to use your IT team. So another advantage is a high level of data security, because furthermore, a LIMS SaaS offer a high level of data security, which is essential to ensure the protection of sensitive laboratory data. So data are encrypted during transfer and can be managed by a rule-based authorization system, ensuring that only authorized users can access the data. So the data are managed by the LIMS provider, that is Eusoft, but the data are managed with a high level of security. What it means? It means that SaaS LIMS, Eusoft SaaS LIMS is managing a cloud security platform. As I said before, we have three different levels of the cloud platform. The first one is an infrastructure as a service, then we have a platform as a service, and the last one that is used by our LIMS is SaaS, software as a service, in the cloud platform. So to ensure data security against potential cyber attacks, for example, Eusoft performs vulnerability assessments and penetration tests every 6 months. This allows you to simulate cyber attacks, to detect any vulnerabilities in the LIMS in order to make the correct fix. This allows LIMS to manage customer data securely. So we work to guarantee you that your data that are managed by the cloud on the cloud platform by the LIMS provider, is Eusoft, are managed in a secure. How Eusoft can help you for the transition to a SaaS LIMS in the cloud? You can have a LIMS on premises now. Probably you can also you don't have any LIMS in this moment, but we can all help you for this transition, for this digital transformation. We use an Agile methodology to implement the LIMS and check certified partners. We check our certified partners to use the same methodology. In US, we work with Asterix, with whom we share the Agile approach to help labs to move to a SaaS LIMS in the cloud. So this means that we use the Agile methodology, but we share this methodology with all our certified partners in US with Asterix. The main steps of the Agile methodology are the validation of the solution, during which the requirements are analyzed. Then we have the configuration stage, during which the LIMS is implemented and tested. And the last one is the release phase, the release stage, during which final test and configuration validation are carried out until the start of production of the LIMS. The benefit of this approach, the Agile approach, are more than one. For example, we can reduce downtime during the transition. We can minimize the potential data loss. The customer can more easily perceive the quality of the deliverables. We can have greater ability, for example, to predict and mitigate risks during the process, and we can have a focus on product must-have. So this is an easy way to move and to for the digital transformation of your lab. So what is the more in depth the Agile approach? Because we are a micro-certified partner, and we use the Microsoft cloud platform that is called whose name is Azure. We use the DevOps Azure. DevOps means developing and operations methodology on the Azure platform. And thanks to the Azure DevOps, we can share with the customer during the implementation the requirements previously identified in the initial assessment phase. So the customer has the ability to view near time to a dashboard dedicated to the project, the progress of the project. So you can see when the activities are finished, when they are in progress, and the next activities that can be carried out in the planned sprint or scheduled based on the outcome of the previous sprint. We work together during the project, and you can monitor it in the same time the state of the work. The advantage of this approach lies in the complete collaboration between Eusoft and the customer, as well as in the transparency of the project management. We can work together. In conclusion, the advantage of using a software as a service LIMS, SaaS LIMS, in the cloud platform means not only having a scalable and modern application, but also having advantages in the application of the Agile methodologies that allows you to monitor step by step the progress of the migration project to a new LIMS on time, on budget, and expectations. These are the three main goals that I suppose you want to achieve during an implementation, that are to have the project that must be on time, on budget, and on expectations. So this is my last slide. Now I can. Okay. Now the presentation will continue with Stefano Bardazzi, that can explain you the main features of our LIMS in SaaS cloud platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefano. Can you please move to the next slide? Thank you. Next. Okay. Thank you again, Stefano. Okay. After the initial introduction about the cloud solution, Eusoft.Lab, we're going to get a bit bigger in the LIMS overview of the Eusoft.Lab application. So we're going to have an overview of the main functionality and features. The Eusoft.Lab LIMS application is a single platform that allows to manage all the data generated and produced to your lab activities, processes, and operation, giving a good focus, obviously, on the standard analytical cycle. So the full sample life cycle can be obviously managed from the sample receiving in the lab to the sample processing till the final step of the sample life cycle, which is the test report generation. It also provides you with the capability to massively reduce the data entry time, also give you a full capability to perform a full data traceability. So in terms of traceability, this is a very important feature. It provides you also the application and structural safety. It can give you immediate availability of data, and it can also represent a powerful tool to help you to achieve compliance with the high standard international regulation like UNI, CAI, ISO 21, CFR Part 11, FDA, etc. And we will talk about the business intelligence in a few minutes. Eusoft.Lab LIMS solution can also be a strong tool to support your driven data decision at any level. Okay, you can move to the next slide. Thank you, Stefano. Okay, one of the relevant feature regarding Eusoft.Lab LIMS solution, it's the capability to be able to use the ADFS service. What is the ADFS service? It's the Active Directory Federation service. It's a microphone service which represents an authentication and authorization service which provides you with the possibility to apply a single sign-on mechanism between the domain, business environment, and the web application. That means exactly being the Eusoft.Lab solution, LIMS solution, integrated with the service, that probably will every time you will be synchronized, logging into your workstation, to your PC, to your machine in the morning, as soon as you get to the office, automatically by default, you will, using the same credential, will be detected, recognized, and you will log in to the LIMS as well, using these ADFS service features. Okay, let's keep talking about some of the LIMS main features. It's a multi-browser, usable on any browser. It's a multi-browser solution. That means it's compatible with any browser, not only the browser you can install in your personal laptop, but even the browser that you find already installed by default in any mobile device, any mobile phone, any tablet. It's also a multi-site and multi-language solution. Multi-site, that means that any organization can have different sites, different locations, different facilities all over the world, in Europe, in US, and Eusoft.Lab gives you the capability to manage the full data flow between the different locations with a specific configuration. Multi-language means you can not only use switching quickly the LIMS language from English to Spanish to French to Italian, but you can also generate a certificate of analysis and test report in different languages at the same time. It's a user-friendly, responsive interface. Here is quite important to highlight how the solution is a mobile solution as well. So you can really connect anytime from anywhere. It can be used by a technician, an operator, which is in the middle of nowhere, trying to record his sampling activities and using probably a tablet, a mobile device, and immediately having a responsive interface, the system will adjust to the size and the resolution screen of the device you are logging in with. The last point is which is a completely customizable without coding. That's a very important topic to cover. We will see that better in a second, but I can already anticipate that being a software as a service native cloud solution is extremely flexible, configurable, and to modify to change any page, any card of the application itself, you won't need to ask help to any developer team with IT skill required people, but can be configured without using any type of code. So quite user friendly in that way as well. Okay, so talking about the configuration, as I was just mentioning a few seconds ago, Eusoft.Lab as an application itself has been developing this built-in feature, embed feature, that allows you to drag and drop different tasks, and so you can really add, hide, modify. For example, you see in this case the employee card. You can completely modify this card like any other card. You can add custom field. You can also design, configure workflow in order to align it to your process. So it is completely configurable, modifiable, with a very user-friendly interface. And exactly as you can see straight away in this small video, each workflow can be customized without using any type of code. You can simply drag and drop from the left to the right, and then decide exactly how your workflow needs to be designed, how the workflow can be modified, can be improved. And this is a massive step to improve also your process, and there will be any of your LIMS user will be able to view and to use it, and can be a very powerful and useful tool. Okay, so about the basic functionality, Eusoft.Lab LIMS is a powerful tool which allows to manage all the data, structure, unstructured, daily, generated, produced through the lab activities, operation processes. It can also help you to automate all the key processes. And for example, the standard sample lifecycle from the sample acceptance to the results, data entry, till the validation, till the test report, certificate of analysis generation. Being a flexible cloud-native solution, that will help you to digitalize, computerize all the activities according to the specific workflow that you will have designed. Okay, talking about some of the so-called additional functionalities, we mentioned already the analytical cycle and the standard operation that any lab of any sector, any business execute on a daily basis. But there are also a list of additional modules, being a modular solution that can be added very quickly anytime, so you can make really your LIMS solution grow with your business. As your business grows, you can add more modules, and you can also add more users, being a flexible, scalable solution. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can actually see a list of the modules, like from the invoicing, so the capability to manage the invoicing, the possibility to manage the quotations, the possibility to schedule, plan ahead some analytical activities with a scheduler, the possibility to interface, to connect the application itself, the LIMS itself, Eusoft.Lab, with some instruments, devices that you use in the lab to generate a file containing any type of test results. And also the possibility to manage calibration plan with the equipment management. The warehouse management is more about the stock reagent management. The possibility to send out automatically emails containing test report with a certificate of analysis, quality control, the business intelligence, and we will talk about the business intelligence in more details in the next slides, and also for the pharma sector, the stability module, and also both the electronic and the digital signature. Okay, so about the business intelligence, as probably most of you already know, it can be really a powerful, massive tool that can make a difference in the way you manage your business. That means in the specific case of the Eusoft.Lab application, we give you any of our customer or any other user to quickly add this additional module which runs on the Microsoft Power BI services. Okay, so using all the services, all the features of the Microsoft Power BI, the business intelligence allow to apply IT technology, methodology, and predictive analytics to convert, transform, translate information, the data, into powerful strategic information. So the data will be converted into information. Now, what the role of business intelligence can represent within a native cloud solution like the Eusoft.Lab LIMS. As I said, through these technologies, methodologies, and predictive analytics, all the data that have been recorded into the application can be converted in a highly elaborated, sophisticated ways into vital, strategic, critical information that can help you, for example, to improve your business process, to improve your lab performance, or even to detect, identify potential issues before they become big problems with a significant impact on your business itself. Also, the business intelligence can give you the capability to manage, control, assess, evaluate everything about the historical, current, and predictive views about the business operation. So here we're talking about the past, we're talking about the present, but we're also talking about the future. So you can analyze the past to understand the present, also to try and predict the future. Okay, it can also be a helpful tool to detect, as I said before, potential issues, but also to identify new business opportunities. It can also support both operational and strategic data-driven decisions, and better, faster, clever choices without involving a big meeting with brainstorming, a specialist analyst, because the job will be done by the tool itself. Okay. Also, as I mentioned before, the use of BI modules allows any lab to evaluate its performance using key performance indicator, KPI. They are retrieving, they are fishing straight away from the data recorded and generated in Eusoft.Lab. Still about the BI module, the value of BI implementation in LIMS. The BI module will help you to gather, analyze, and visualize your lab data. About visualize, using any type of graphic dashboard and any other potential graphic design. You will be able also to organize in a structured manner all the increasing amount of volume of data which is daily produced and generated by any lab in the world, both the structured and the unstructured data. Improve the understanding of your data, because we all are used to record new data, new sample, new analytical activities on a daily basis, but that will give you a better insight and a better understanding of the data you are recording, and consequently you will be able to take smarter, clever, data-driven decisions. You will also be able to improve your internal processes and the relationship with your customers, and increase productivity. I think we have just finished with the slides. Maybe it's time for Kevin to step up with a Q&A session.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. It's a great presentation. So much detail, Stefano. Really appreciate that. Again, for the folks who were on in the beginning, I wanted to reiterate that if you had questions that you wanted to ask, simply type your question in, and we'll read the question. We won't read your name, or we won't read your company or anything along those lines. That will get the recording stopped at this point.